Hi, I'm Ariel Clay. I'm here with Jeff Hughes, who is a Senior Executive Analyst from Belfield Management Solutions, LLC. Jeff, tell me a little bit about your title and what you do. What is your area of specialty?
I feel like my area of specialty over the years has become everything.
Right.
Because when you go into a business and look at that business through every process, all the people involved, you get to know a little bit about everything. And as a senior executive, I play a leadership role within the company.
Jeff, how many years have you been doing business consulting?
I have been involved in business consulting now for over 30 years.
Wow, that is quite some time. And how many companies have you worked with to help them increase their profitability?
The last count that I had is over 3,000 companies.
Wow.
And I believe that every company that I've ever worked with has had a positive experience of working with Jeff Hughes.
That is quite some experience. Can you give us an example or tell us a story about one of your most challenging projects with a company?
I remember going into a logging business one time when I first started. And it was a logging company. John was the owner of the business. And he asked me some questions. And it wasn't long before he said, you don't know a lot about the logging industry, do you? And the logging business. And I remember admitting to him, do you know what? You're absolutely right. I go into all sorts of businesses. And some things are the same, some things are different. But if you explain the logging side of things, I think I might be able to help you on the business side of things. And he gave me a little book. And it was all about grading lumber and what that lumber was worth. And I took that little book and I read it. And about 3 years later, I was involved in a much bigger operation that was doing lumber. And I went into the business and the owner was walking around with me and he said, this is the most important role. And there was all this lumber coming through and there was guys with sticks and a piece of chalk on it and they were marking the lumber at what grade it was. And he said, you know, this is the most important job. These are the guys that identify how much value there is to that lumber. And I said, I know a little bit about this, right? He said, you can grade lumber? I said, I'm not sure if I could grade lumber, but I do know something about it. Well, the guy went on break and he said, well, have at it, and gave me this stick with a piece of chalk on it. And I remember that little booklet and how to grade that lumber. And I graded lumber for about 20 minutes. And he said, I can't believe that you stood up there and did that. I said, I can't believe it either. And that was the beginning of a successful engagement.
It sounds like you've had such an interesting career with a lot of interesting experiences. What part of this line of work do you enjoy the most?
Do you know, when I go into a business that's been around for generations, and I might be going into a company that's on the second generation, the first generation, even the fifth, sixth generation, and you can help that company move in a positive direction, and you can help that company exist for future generations, is very, very rewarding.
It sounds like really meaningful work.
It is. The work that we do is not only business changing, it's life changing.
Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you, Ariel.